Welcome to Revolution Network. This is Dr. Jason Dean. This is our 2 o'clock Eastern Time interview time where we get people around the world who are helping make the planet a better place. And I have a returning guest from a week or so ago. Time is flying, so I think it was 2 weeks ago. Norbert Heuser, how are you, sir? Good to have you back.
Dr. Jackson, thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure, it's a privilege to be with you and your listeners and
Well,
viewers.
I appreciate it. And everyone was very, very ecstatic to hear the information you have, to see the things you're talking about, and knowing full well now that we can. There are solutions to the things we have going on in this planet now, and appreciating all the background that you're able to give us. And so, we're gonna make this efficient today because of time for both of our schedules, but we want to get this out to the public because at the end of the day, Norbert, you have life-saving technologies and solutions for people in a world where, yes, we are inundated by cell phones, by Wi-Fi, things like that. Let's dive right in. We last left off talking about a lot of the cell phone issues, the radiation, etc. And I know you want to dive in today to something that's not talked about as much, which is actually Wi-Fi. And I'll tell you, I have a gigabit internet connection at home, and I've got a lot of protection around it. But I know that's what every house is technically going to. Give us a breakdown on the Wi-Fi and what you see and what you understand about the technology.
Well, you see, with a cell phone, which years ago I thought is a major issue, when I started, I first concentrated on the cell phone. There was not so much Wi Fi around like we have today. We're talking about 10, 12 years ago, right?
Right.
So I concentrated on the cell phone, which I had for the last 30 years myself. Um, And then I realized the cell phone, you could make your personal decision to switch it off or not to have one. However, this is theory. Majority of people do have one, even toddlers, children, teenagers, everybody, right? And let me repeat that figure. We have in America 330 million population of that size, give and take, and we have about 350 million cell phones, and the number is getting bigger and bigger. So now cell phones, theoretically, you could disconnect. Fine. Most of the people don't do it. So let's talk about the reality, what people really do. They have the cell phone on more or less 24/7. Some switch it off at nighttime. Some even go to bed with it. Jesus, yes. But even if you switch it off, what you have around you nowadays is always Wi Fi. And Wi Fi is the big issue, not cell phone. Some people say, okay, I hold my cell phone like in distance, like remotely, and I speakerphone and so on. Let me tell you this number again. In my workshops, I demonstrate and I test people and show them if a cell phone is not further than 7 feet away from you, maybe eight, it harms you. So your arm is not 8 feet. Okay, so it doesn't matter. So you cannot have the phone far away from you unless you put it 8 feet away. You are in a safe zone, or the people next sitting to you in a restaurant, a cafe, in a bus, wherever, they're 8 feet away. If a cell phone is not 8 feet away, it is dangerous and harms you. Full stop. Okay. Now Wi-Fi, you go today, if you can go today again, eventually to Starbucks, you go to a movie theater, you go to a hospital, you go to church, you go to kindergarten, you go to a bathroom, you go to a sports event, you go to nightclubs, churches. It doesn't matter. You have Wi-Fi penetration everywhere. And last time I gave the information about Fing, some listeners will remember, right? So you have Wi-Fi penetration everywhere. And even if you don't have a Wi-Fi at home, if you don't, sure enough, 5, 10 neighbors will penetrate you with their Wi-Fi.
Right.
And now we have a new thing in cars. And what a lot of people don't know, the regular combustion chamber car already creates electromagnetic radiation. People basically don't know that. So you're driving in a regular car and you're bombarding yourself with your own car of electromagnetic radiation if you don't have even a cell phone.
True.
Now, these new cars have all built in a new radar. When you change the lane, you get a warning signal. The new cars have that. And that's done by a radar, which is now built in all cars. And most cars are Bluetooth built in.
Yep.
And if you yourself don't have it, Sure enough, the guy driving behind you or coming towards you is shooting at you with his radiating. So you cannot escape. And now with the cell towers everywhere, I took a test the other day here in my company. And I made a test, and there is an app, there's a website, and I have here, and within 2 miles, now listen, and within 2 miles around my company, 100 antennas.
Wow.
And 45 towers. 45 towers within 2 miles around my company. So you're driving down the street from here to wherever. If I come to visit you in Orlando, I will pass hundreds and thousands of towers and transmission stations, and they're all shooting at you. So Wi-Fi is the problem. And Wi-Fi penetrates your body. And what is important to understand, 4G, but especially 5G, harms your body and kills your cells. There's no question. There are plenty of studies. And I will bring up on my website a button which is called Health Info. And I'll bring up a lot of these studies that people don't need to buy my words. The studies are out there. So what happens is, with the 5G penetration, your calcium in your cells multiplies by 1,000 times.
Wow.
And that kills every cell in your body. There's no question. And Wi-Fi and 5G penetration kills the water structure in your body. Now, some other day when you're in the mood and the people want to listen to, we will talk about water. And as we are 70-80% water, we have a water structure which needs to be healthy. But the electromagnetic radiation, Wi-Fi, will kill the cells in your body and will kill the water structure. So you will never be really healthy. And over the years to come, your body, your health will wear down because you have no defense. And this is what I worked on over the last 10 years after I finished my research for cell phones, that I said, okay, that's cool. I've got a coverage there. I showed you guys last time. But the more important thing is I have to find a coverage for Wi-Fi, which I did then.
That's pretty tremendous, by the way, that you went into that. Now, do me a favor. I want to break down the difference between. So, we have people who have 5G on their cell phones. Now, I know that's not technically official 5G yet, but also you have 2.5 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz on your Wi-Fi routers today. And it used to be, I remember the days when you would get Wi-Fi from your internet provider, and then you would hook up a router to that. That is no longer the case. You're now buying the full router. Can you break that down to everybody and let them know what they're being exposed to? And we're going to solutions to that, but what are they being exposed to, first of all, with Wi-Fi?
Well, what the problem is that people are exposed to these things, but they cannot smell or taste it.
Right.
Now, if you would eat something which is totally salted, you would spit it out because you say, that's too salty, I can't eat that, right? But the electromagnetic radiation, whether it comes from the cell phone or Wi-Fi, is, for the average person, not trackable.
Right.
Some people are very sensitive, but this is a small percentage. And I usually tell these people when they say, oh, I'm oversensitive. I say, no. You're not oversensitive. We others are numb.
Right.
We should feel it, but we don't. And here is the booby trap. As we don't feel the pain, the penetration, what it does to the body, we think it's not there. We ignore it. I think last time I gave the example of arsenic, right? We have a lot of arsenic, by the way, in the water in the United States. And this water, arsenic, you cannot taste. You know, I buy a lot of whole food products, you know, in an organic store. And even Whole Food had the other day a scandal where they had their water product bottle called Starkey.
Right.
And in those Starkey water bottles, you found a high percentage of arsenic.
Wow.
Okay? So arsenic you cannot taste, electromagnetic radiation you cannot taste, you cannot feel it in most of the cases. So this is why it's so dangerous. And the levels they have now are already totally harmful. Even the 4G are already totally harmful. And with 5G, they can bring it up if they want to and talk about 60 gigahertz. At 60 gigahertz, human beings' life on this planet as we know it will completely vanish. The human body cannot digest 60 gigahertz. It cannot even digest 5 or 10. That's already too much, not even 2.5. So everything above a certain standard will harm the human body. And I gave that figure out, I think, last time in the show. We have ourselves, we have a natural electromagnetic radiation of 60 to 80 microwatt per square meter. That's international standard, how you measure these radiations. 60 to 80 microwatt per square meter is our natural body situation, which we have. More than 100 is not good. And German home biologists make clear statements that everything above 1,000 is highly dangerous. Means cancer, blah, 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 blah. They're very diplomatic when they say highly dangerous, right? Cell phone calls are between 2 and 4,000 easily, up to 6,000. And again, more than 1,000 is harmful, with no question. Wi-Fi exceeds all that, okay? Wi-Fi exceeds all that, so you can ignore it or not. We will all pay our price for it. And the problem is nobody asks us for our opinion, or an important, nobody takes responsibility. I have not seen one president of any country, whether it's America or wherever, who says, I take responsibility. When Trump asked for, we should even go to 6G, not 5G, I would have loved to be in the room and ask him, okay, Mr. Trump, I understand. So tell me, are you going to take responsibility? Are you guaranteeing the people that they have no health effects? And you heard nobody from the industries ever taking responsibility, or FDA. These things are not even FDA approved. They won't get approved because they will never pass. But they don't touch the subject because the business is too big.
Right. Now, with cell phones, obviously some people are looking, okay, I could get rid of a cell phone, I could get protection, I could change back to a flip phone, or someone said here a pine phone, which I've never actually heard of. That's fine. When it comes to Wi-Fi, though, Wi-Fi, I don't think it's going away, especially with so many people working from home now and all the virtual meetings, etc. Can you, if you wire your home versus the Wi-Fi, does that help at all, or are we still having the ramifications?
No, you have to, there's only one step to do. Now, let me say it again. It's theory that people disconnect their cell phones or throw them away,
right,
or step back to a flip phone. Nobody does that. In the practical world, nobody does that. So let's be realistic. And some people blame me for being a pessimist, okay? And I tell them, no, I'm not a pessimist. A pessimist finds something bad in everything.
Right.
I'm a new optimist. I have a definition for optimist. An optimist for me is not a guy who says every time something happens, oh, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. We're going to be fine. No. It's a deluded optimist. For me, optimism means I can see the problem, but I'll be willing to work on it, to solve it, and to get through with it. That's for me my definition of optimist. So after I designed the piece for the cell phone, I said, okay, I have to do something for the Wi-Fi at home, because now I realized the big problem is the Wi-Fi. So you cannot stop it. You cannot block it. You cannot reduce it. That's all nonsense. And we need electromagnetic radiation to make a phone call or use Wi-Fi.
Right.
So we have to handle it. And how do I handle it? Now, I have a technology which I'll be happy to share with you guys, but we need more time. We can't do it now. Next time, perhaps, to explain the technology behind it. It's all based on quantum physics. So we take this small guy here on the keychain, and it gives you protection of 15 feet radius around you. 15 feet radius around you, nothing which comes in within these 15 feet has any negative effect on your body. We harmonize the danger of the Wi-Fi signals, of the electromagnetic radiation. We harmonize it. We nullify it.
And I think that's really important to point out, Norbert, which I have been battling and going down this road for a long period of time, and I've gotten a lot of people with a lot of different companies that come up to me and say, Well, we're going to block the radiation. We're going to block the radiation. And I stop them immediately and I say, you're not blocking any radiation. If you think you're blocking it, then you don't know actually what you're talking about, because this is a scalar quantum physics situation. And so I only know two people, yourself and a friend of mine, Ken Rolla, who actually talk about scalar and quantum. And the real solution, as you said, it is not blocking it, because you're not going to block it. You actually have to nullify the wave or harmonize it, as you say, and it is literally the only way you handle this, from what I understand.
Yes. Okay. And what it is you have a physical sphere, a physical part, and you have an abstract part, okay, which is called hyperspace, according to a German physicist who had discovered this years ago. Okay, every product in this world has these two areas. And again, next time when we have more time, I will explain this more in detail. So you're right. So everybody who says we'll block it, we'll reduce it, is full of it. They don't understand physics. You cannot make a phone call Wi-Fi blocking. And the problem is that people, I had today a gentleman on the phone from Switzerland, and he said, I bought these things and I can feel it doesn't work. The problem is the average consumer cannot decide what works, what not works. If you have a cell phone, you start it and it works. You see, I can call my wife, it works. I don't doubt it, right?
Right.
So, but now you buy something which protects you, and how do you know it protects you? How do you know? In most of the cases, people do not know.
I have muscle testing, so I know.
Of course. But the majority of people cannot do
Right,
that.
exactly.
So, and actually, in one of my workshops, I have a segment where I talk about kinesiology, and I do muscle testing, and I explain people how muscle testing works, and I let them do exercises. I say, to get through this world healthy and well, you need to learn the basics and learn the basics of kinesiology, that you don't eat any food and any water and any drink without testing it. Is it pro-survival or counter-survival? Okay? So I mentioned that perhaps in the past. I was lucky enough to find this institute in Austria called BISA, which you can see on my website. And this BISA institute scientifically tested all my products. And after they tested them, I got a certificate that they exactly do what I say they do. And I was very happy about this, because now I was out of this thing, well, I'm for real. This is for real, guys. And this is my name behind it with a warranty of 10 years. And then I designed this big unit here for the house.
Oh, wow.
So this unit you put in the house anywhere, and it covers a radius of 150 feet. Diameter 300 feet, which is half a football stadium. Now people keep asking me, why do you make such a big coverage? I said, well, if you have more than 2 bathrooms, and if you have a front yard and the kids are playing, and a barbecue behind your house, and a bit of a playground for the kids, you not want only your rooms to be protected, but the kids leave the immediate house and play outside. You want them to protect it as well. So this one covers you with a radius of 150 feet. So everything, a tower which stands 200-300 feet away or 150 feet away, doesn't matter. It cannot penetrate your body anymore and harming. You can still receive the Wi-Fi signal, but the Wi-Fi signal has been turned from chaos into harmony. So the part which you need physically works for the phone or for the Wi-Fi connection, but the body part has been handled. And the Visa Institute has certified this and made tests, and you can see on my website those tests before and after on the body, how the body changes.
I want to highlight how important that is, and I'm going to reiterate something I just said a little bit ago, which was, I think people are, trust me, I've seen the websites, I've had the emails from people that are trying to sell me, because trust me, I go to a lot of people, I'm in practice, people ask me all the time, and I know I can sell protection devices all day long. And literally, they all say the same thing. We're going to block the Wi-Fi, EMF, 5G, etc., all from you using this device. And again, reiterating, you don't block anything. You actually have to flip the wave. And this is so important because I talk about muscle testing as well, Norbert. I muscle test in my office. I muscle test from a distance. I understand enough basics about quantum physics that know how it works and what you can do with it. And unless you understand quantum physics, scalar energy, you won't understand how harmonizing a wave is handled. And so I think it's so important for people to hear what you're saying, and the fact that, again, I only know a couple people on the face of the planet right now who understand this physics enough that know that you have to actually harmonize the wave and nullify the harmful wave to bring it into harmony. Now, do you have a solution possibly? Because this is my hope. Obviously, the president has talked about 5G, talked about 6G, all this different stuff. My hope is behind the scenes they're working on Tesla technology, and that we can actually turn all these antennas into something more amazing. Because ultimately, you have the devices and you have the technology behind it. You might have to build a new product to do the actual distance, but we could make all of our technology work even at higher levels if we harmonize the waves like that, and then we could actually change our entire planet. Correct?
Exactly. So if I take this device, which I call, people ask me, what is it? Because it has no electricity, it has no battery, you're guaranteed for 10 years. How is that possible? Well, it's only possible if you understand quantum physics, which I'm happy to bring in one of these shows to talk the basics so people can perhaps duplicate it. So I have programmed this, what I call a quantum physics computer. And yes, if I put, for example, one of them in every tower, no electromagnetic radiation would be harmful anymore. No Wi-Fi would be harmful anymore.
Right.
Okay? The question is, do they want that? And they have to admit, to come to me and say, hey, Norbert, you have a solution. Let's handle this planet and take the danger off. Why is every third person dying of cancer? Why? All of a sudden, over the years, the development of cancer is parallel to me to the explosion of Wi-Fi. So, but they would have to admit it, that something is wrong, and that's a problem for them to admit that and to say, okay, not to be sued. Well, so in other words, you harmed us all the way long. Yes, we did, but now we have a solution thanks to Norbert. They wouldn't do that. I can't see that. It's a similar thing like with the cigarette industry. Only if one day it happens that they want to be crucified in court, then there will be a change. If you look at the change of mindset of people and smoking, what happened in this country, it's amazing. It's amazing. But here, don't forget one thing. It's the biggest business ever. By changing to 5G, it means they have a guaranteed sales of 5-6 billion cell phones. I mean, try to digest that number. Changing to 5G means, just on the money side, not on the health side, 5 to 6 billion cell phones guaranteed to be sold, because people have to change to 5G.
Yeah, that's a lot of profit, Norbert.
So, but we have to understand that, and I guess today we don't have enough time, we should talk next time about that 5G, it's not about making a cell phone call. 5G is not about communicating while you're shopping with your fridge at home, how much milk is still in the fridge and how many toilet paper do we have still in the house. They sell us this. They sell us, oh, you can download a movie in 10 seconds, that 5 minutes. Wow, isn't that cool? And people say, yeah, that's cool, right? But that's just the forefront. That's just an excuse. 5G has been a weapon for many years. And 5G is needed for them to control. They're taking the money away from us.
Right.
They take cash money away from us. Let's not be idiots. They will take it away from us. And how they control the money? Only digitally. To do that, they need 5G. With 4G, you can't do it. You need 5G. They will change all the cars to electric cars with the reasoning of saving energy, which is nonsense. Okay, so they changed to 5G. What does that mean? The cars will be remotely controlled, which means everybody can dial in your car and decide whether you can drive it or not. Switch you off. Switch you off your bank account if you don't cooperate with us. Switch off your car, right? And they need 5G to control the future of your health. And when we talk about this corona situation and vaccinations, Bill Gates clearly says it. He wants our people vaccinated with a digital tattoo. What does that mean? We're going to have in our bodies, we'll talk next time about it, how the control works. We have in our body a digital control, which can be, again, only controlled with 5G. And we can control, oh, you want to go on the airplane? Oh, let me see. The computer? Oh, you don't have a digital tattoo in your body. Sorry, you can't enter the airplane. Sorry, that's what's going to happen. And I'm not going to live with that. And I'm saying, look, whatever I can do as long as I live, at least this lifetime, next lifetime, I start all over again, I will create something which counterparts these evil intentions. We cannot leave it up to them. I cannot tell my children, look, when I die, sorry, you're on your own. That's it. Have a good time. Bye-bye. Whatever happens to you. No. We're not going to do that. So we have to be aware of what they're trying to do. And other people, it's not only me in this world, there are some good guys out there who are doing similar like I do, or same, or better. And maybe in 5 years there comes somebody who does things which I find mind-blowing. I said, wow, this is so much better. It doesn't matter to me who does it. Matter to me is that it's been done and that it's been offered, and people know you don't need to suffer. You don't need to buy into their crap. Okay, that's my target. I don't have all the answers, but I have a commitment.
Beautiful. And that's what it is. It's purpose, it's commitment. That's how we get things done. Now, do me a favor. I'm going to promote this, and I don't have the full time yet because I got to go find out on the schedule when I look at the schedule this afternoon. But Norbert, I want to make it so you're actually in person with myself and my wife at our office next week. But I also want to do a follow-up interview because I want to get you for about an hour straight roughly on an interview because I think we need the time. And we can talk about a lot of things regarding 5G and just deeper that every people are loving. But we're going to go and we're going to do some actual in-person stuff next week. How does that sound?
Very cool to me. And keep in mind, we have to blend over then from electromagnetic radiation into water.
Yes, we will do that.
Very substantial, because electromagnetic radiation kills the water in your body.
Right.
And people are not aware of water. And most of the people out there are dehydrated all the time.
Yes.
And they don't know it.
100%. Absolutely. We're going to go into that as well. I also have some great experts coming on for that. Do me a favor, Norbert. And we will go into more because I know people are going, oh my gosh, we want more information. I totally get it. We're going to have more information. We will bring that to you probably next week. Norbert, don't worry. Norbert is here. Norbert messaged me behind the scenes. We are in contact, so we can get him almost pretty much any time. We are on the same purpose, so I am not concerned about that at all. Norbert is a genius. He's a wonderful man. His purpose is so good. It's unbelievable. There are good people in this world still. Norbert, where can everyone find your devices? Where can they find your information? And not just to go buy something, because everyone listening out there right now, I don't want you just to go willy-nilly buy something. I have told you from day one on this network, my job is not to just sell you stuff. My job is to educate you, but also point you into the direction of good people that are doing the right research so that you can educate yourself. And then once you do that, you actually want this stuff because then it's making your life better. But Norbert, where can they find you to get this stuff?
There is a website which is called Protect Pro, which stands for Protection Professional.
Okay.
protectpro.net.
Okay. And we'll drop that link as well. And I believe you have there's a coupon code or something they can get.
And I have a write-up on the technology, and I started with a button called Health Info, in which I will upload in the next near future a lot of information. Or, for example, I'll give you an example. I have a button called Books, right? I don't sell books, but when I come across books which I think people should read, I put them up on the website because I want information, valuable information out there, truth out there. Whether it's me or somebody else, it's not the point of a person. It's the point of achieving results and accomplishing something to improve and to counterpart the intentions out there.
Beautiful. I love it. So protectpro.net. Wonderful.
Yes.
Norbert, as always, I thank you for being a warrior. I thank you for being a patriot. I thank you for being just a leader for humanity. I appreciate your time today.
Thank you for having me, Jason, Dr. Jason. You and your audience, all the best, guys. But stick together and try to get a bit upset, because only when people get upset and out of their comfort zone, they do something. We have to act, guys. We have to act. We have to get out of the comfort zone, please.
I love it. Dr. Jason Dean, Revolution Network, signing off for Norbert and myself today. Go get the information, educate yourself. We are going to work to be in person next week to show you even more, and maybe we'll even show you some cool muscle testing. Guys, have an amazing day. Be well, take good care of yourself, and share this to everyone you know so that we can spread and impart this and disseminate this information to the public so we can heal more people and create a better planet. Have a wonderful day. Be well.